Alrighty, folks, I got another new album review for you. This one is hot off the presses. I wasn't realizing it was showing up yesterday, but it did. I've already plowed through it a couple times. It's the new Black Country Communion. Black Country Communion 5, or maybe it's just 5, or maybe it's V. Not quite sure. I think it's just 5. But anyway, this cool little album artwork there. I like the little spaceship with the purple and black. You can see the raised earth down there in the corner. The digipack cover is really cool too. It's got like, I don't know, some kind of, feels almost rubberish. And it's like that on the inside too. You can see there the hordes worshiping the Black Country Communion V ship. And you got the CD there. I'll pop this out here because it's kind of cool underneath there too. So, cool little packaging. If you don't know who Black Country Communion is, this is a super group consisting of Glenn Hughes on bass and vocals, Joe Bonamassa on guitar. I think he really only shares vocals. Usually he gets one or two songs by himself on a Black Country Communion album, but I think he just shares vocals on one track on this album. And then you get Derek Sherinian on keyboards and Jason Bonham on drums. So this is their first album in 7 years. They've kind of slowed down. Their debut came out in 2010. They knocked out 3 albums in 3 years, but then issues began to arise between Hughes and Bonamassa because Hughes wanted to tour and record more, and Bonamassa has his own solo career, and he makes a lot more money than Black Country Communion could ever make on his own. So obviously he doesn't want to cut off that revenue stream, but they seem to be in a happy place now. As far as the album goes, this is going to be a tough one. I thought maybe I should hold off and listen to it some more, but I don't think that that's going to help any. I think I'm going to have to like set this one down for like a month and then come back to it and reassess. Maybe my expectations were too high and I'm being too hard on it, or maybe because of the personnel involved in the group, I'm being too easy on it. I haven't really made up my mind as to which one that is. But anyway, it starts off with Enlighten, a song called Enlighten. I think they released that as a single. That is a typical Black Country Communion song. It's got a big train vibe to it. They open a lot of their albums with a song similar in style like to that one. Like I said, it's nothing. It's not terrible. It's just nothing out of the ordinary. It's a pretty typical Black Country Communion song. Follows up with Stay Free. This one's got a little funky intro. Glenn Hughes bringing his funk and rhythm and blues influence into the end of the song. It's good, but it really gets saved by Joe Bonamassa's guitar work, which is going to be a common theme through this review. His guitar work and his riffing really save a lot of the songs. In his early solo works, he had a lot more rock mixed in with his blues. but over his last few albums, he's really getting more towards I don't know, maybe a adult contemporary blues and a little less rock. So it's nice to hear Bonamassa rocking out again. He's got a heavy Jimmy Page influence in him when his guitar playing on this album. And like I said, his guitar riffs and his soloing is one of the things that really saves the album. Derek Sherinian's great in here too. He doesn't get to expand too much on his playing, but when he does get to shine, he shines, and he's always back in the background there, pulling it all together. Red Sun starts off with a good riff, but then it's got kind of a weak chorus, and it drags on for way too long. It's 6.5 minutes long. It's not a song that should go on that long. Maybe 4.5 minutes would have been better. Again, Joe Bonamassa saving the song with his riffing. Restless is the fourth song. It's your typical Black Country Communion slow number. Joe Bonamassa again comes in halfway through the song and starts livening it up a little bit, and then Glenn cuts loose a little bit at the end. So it salvages the song with the two of them picking up the number at the end. The album finally starts getting going, really going around song number 5 with a song called Letting Go. I believe that was another single that they released. It's another one that kind of suffers from a weak chorus, but again, Joe Bonamassa was there to save the day with his guitar playing in the song. The best song on the album is probably Skyway. It's got a beefy riff to it. Glenn singing with some attitude here. It's got a catchy chorus, and this is the one song on this album that I feel like could have easily fit on their debut, which to me is a classic album. They've never come close to touching that. I realize touching a classic is kind of a tall order for anybody, but that song could have easily fit on that album. That's followed up by You're Not Alone. We're starting to get in, like I said, it took us to the halfway point of the album, but now we're starting to get into some more rockin' numbers, some more upbeat numbers. You're Not Alone. This album, this song, Bonamassa and Sherinian and even Bonham too, were all given a little bit of room to breathe on this one and show their chops off a little bit. Love and Faith, as BCC usually has a Zeppelin-esque number on their albums, and this is their Zeppelin-esque number. It opens up with a nice little keyboard intro, maybe kind of reminiscent of a Thank You, and then kind of goes into a Kashmir feel. But it's a really good song. Again, Bonamassa, you got some great guitar work going on there. Too Far Gone's up-tempo. It's got some bouncy keyboards to it. It's got a nice heavy riff to it. And then the Open Road, it's a little funky number. Again, closes out the album. Glenn Hughes showing off his vocal chops again. It's amazing that he can still sing the way he does. I just saw him last year doing on his Deep Purple tour, and it's incredible that the guy can sing like he does. His bass really doesn't stand out too much on this album, so uh, which was kind of odd. But again, I think the songs have a little bit of sameness to them that maybe is influencing my opinion on it. I mean, there's a lot. They have the lyrical themes in there, like I said, Red Sun, Midnight Sun, Too Far Gone, Too Late for the Sun, Faithless, Love and Faith, Stay Free, Cry Freedom. Glenn Hughes sings about Avalon and the Great Divide. These are all songs on different albums, and this album that all, I don't know, maybe breed familiarity and maybe seem like they're rehashed ideas. So again, I don't know if I'm being too hard on this album because my expectations were high. I give it a solid 8. I was actually leaning towards 7.9 before, but I mean it's solid enough that I think it's an 8. An 8 by anybody else is good. I don't know why. I seem to think that's not a good score here. I just, when you have guys of this talent, you expect a little more than the 8 out of them. But like I said, I may be being overcritical on this. So I want to set it down for like a month and then come back to it. But I didn't want to set it down for a month to review it. I don't think, even after a month, I don't think it's going to climb any higher than an 8.5. It may stay at 8. I doubt it'll drop much lower than 8. But anyway, that's my review for Black Country Communion 5. I'd like to know what your guys' thoughts are on the album. If you've heard it, if you think I'm being overly critical, or if I'm being not critical enough. I can't really tell at this moment. All right. You guys have a good one. Giga Maggies.